Okie doke. So what if the second resource, again we just limit to 2 resources. What if the second resource or the second technology is more expensive but totally clean? Psi2 is 0. So now I made a mess of this, so let me just redo it. We've got alpha y over r is phi psi 1 p to the phi minus 1 y plus w1. That's the condition that needs to be fulfilled if we're using resource 1. If we're reusing resource 2, this condition needs to be fulfilled. And remember, there's no guarantee that both of these are fulfilled. One could be not fulfilled, in which case we're not using that resource. Okay, but we're assuming that we've got a resource with higher W2, but psi2 is 0. And let's assume again we start with AL low, and it could be very low. So when AL is low, Y is low, so like the term 1, so to speak, the pollution term, these ones are low, so they are irrelevant, and we choose the cheapest resource. Okay, but then let AL grow, term 1 grows, but here psi2 we said was 0, this one is clean. So as this grows, at some point w1 plus phi psi 1 p to the phi minus 1 y will be equal to w2. The sum of the extraction cost and the damage cost for the dirty resource will equal the extraction cost for the clean resource. At that point, we start to use the clean resource. When we do, that cuts P, which pushes this down. But Y is still growing, so the two together hold this term constant and keep these equal. And what we see is, over time, this is Y more or less constant, we see this. Okay, that first we see the tendency to leveling off that we talked about, that we see in the single resource, but then at some point we start, actually there'll be an abrupt switch, we start switching to the clean resource, and then things get much more dramatic, because that second mechanism is the big one. Yeah, the flattening off, that's the first mechanism, Fotsoller's first mechanism, isn't it? But the switch to the clean, that is the biggie. Okay, and that's what we're starting to see for carbon dioxide in some sectors. Right. In the figure, we illustrate the development of the economy in a specific case with 3 technologies, the third of which is perfectly clean, and that is the most expensive one, of course. The dotted lines show the paths of pollution which would be followed if, respectively, only technologies 1 and 2, or only technology 2, were available. Okay, I think we'll stop there.